Yeah, warm welcome from my side, and thank you very much for accepting me as this strange duck here in the room, which is actually deeply impressed by the complexity and the depth of your business. Wow. My name is Matthias. I'm rather flattered to be invited to talk on this topic. Since challenges in behavioral change, I would consider myself to be rather change resistant. Yeah, and I can tell you why. I was born in Hamburg, I grew up in Hamburg, I went to school in Hamburg, I studied in Hamburg, I had my first girlfriend in Hamburg, and I worked in Hamburg. And when I was 32 and somebody would ask me, Matthias, would you like to check out something new? I would say, I could move from the western part of Hamburg to the eastern part of Hamburg, where there's nothing I could find more interesting, right? But then, change happens, right? I went out Saturday night, 3:30. I met my wife on the Reeperbahn, who knows Hamburg. She was not working there, right? She was sort of more private. And we had some good conversation. And it turned out that with her, lots of change came. So we changed cities. We moved to Amsterdam. We learned new languages. We did several jobs. And after a time of lots of changes, we became change resistant again, right? Living since 13 years, I think, in Amsterdam, having since 10 years the same flat. I'm still together with her, There are lots of things where you go back into your behavior, right? Good. Well, I'm here actually due to these changes, since my move to Amsterdam made also possible that I do what I do now, and working as trainer and as coach for the IAK, the Institute for Applied Creativity. And this institute actually started in 1970 to bring creativity techniques to the workflows. They said, we promise Boehringer, Daimler, Procter & Gamble, with our techniques, 1,000 ideas a day. And they said, wow, that we want to have. We only need one good one, right? So they trained and they created and sparked huge enthusiasm, training people on skills, actually, and certain processes and techniques. And you can imagine, after a couple of years, our founders, let's check how many of these techniques they still use, and what is the most successful one. And then they did a customer panel, and it was a punch in the face. The workshop, it was like a straw fire, 2 weeks of enthusiasm, and then dropped down. And after 2, 3, 4 weeks, everyone was back in patterns and behaviors, routines they knew from the before. And our founder said, we can't stand this, so we have to work on it. And they try to dig in deeper, and they figure out, of course there are processes and instruments, tools, which are important to drive change. But even more, it's maybe to think also about how to bring them across, how to tell others. And finally, if we talk change, it should also have to do something with ourselves, with our individual way of looking. Good. This may be as little preface why I'm here, and they try to invest in more detail, about change and changing behavior. And to be honest, change is on every mouth, every article, 1 million of books, and change is ongoing. And the latest trend is VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. And I don't know if you read the paper, volatility, stock exchange, climate, I don't know, the amplitude of change is going up and down. Uncertainty, if you talk with people from old industries, the disruptive technology which creates from now to the next moment a big change. Complexity is maybe something, in German we have a saying, if you're not interested in something, you say, if this and this happened, or a sack of rice falls over in China, who cares? That was 20 years ago. Today, a sack of rice falls over in China and you are fired. And you don't know why. That's complexity, right? And ambiguity maybe as final point where, in former times it was maybe easier to say that's right or that's wrong or that's good or that's bad, right? And today, I don't know. Maybe it's good that the NSA is collecting data to protect us from terrorism, and sometimes I don't know if it's good that they know everything about me, right? That's a bit the way. Looking at this kind of change, of course, it's very easy to say that other people need to change. And hands up, who of you tried already to change certain behavior, like losing weight, or quit smoking, or coming more on time? Yeah? And who of you already failed with changing, right? So obviously there's something, right, where we are very good in asking others who wants to change, yeah? And then having this kind of experience that it doesn't work out any moment of time, you know, that if who wants to change, it's a question we somehow steal ourselves away, right? Let's do the others to change. Right? So when we talk about the human factor in your business, we could make it easy. Yeah? And we could give you a wash list of points that your pig farmers, your customers should do differently. But that would be maybe too easy, since change may have also a certain involvement of you and yourself. Right? Good, so my invite to you is today, during the next 35 minutes, to work and to do some interactivity also in order to grasp how change works. And to do this, we figured out that there's an attitude which might help you to do it normally. Yeah, when we are confronted with new things, new learnings, not you, but other people, right? Others, yeah, might step into the, as we call it, yes but mode. Yeah, they say, oh, Matthias, that's a nice idea, but, and then a whole wash list of reasons is listed why what I just explained won't work. Yeah? And don't get me wrong, yeah, I don't want to overrule your experiences. However, as I see you here as interested community in the pig business, eager to learn new things from experts, maybe yes but might not be the really straightforward attitude. So my recommendation to you is to forget about yes but, at least for today, and to replace it with an open and warm hearty why not? Yeah? Why not give it a chance? Why not follow this path? Why not try out first? And then reflect back on the experience you made instead of disregarding potential solutions in the first place. Okay? Why not? Good. Yeah, let's dive into behavior and behavioral motivation. And I think you all know this kind of pyramids. Maslow was the first one. Chip Conley, which is a Californian entrepreneur, and also one representative of the human mind psychology movement. What drives our actions? What drives our behavior? Very simple. Once Maslow figured out, I hope the pointer is this one, yeah. Safety and physiological needs. And Chip Conley translated it into the 21st century and said, you know, actually it's about survival, right? At the end, we do everything to survive, and survival in 2016 in the Western Hemisphere might be your regular income, I suppose, your pension, healthcare, a home, yeah? And that's actually what we need to feel, yeah, this kind, we are capable to survive. Yeah? No rocket science. If we move on, of course, there's this strong motivation to be successful. Maslow said it's about self-esteem and belonging. Chip Conley says, you know, it's more about the success, being visible, having control, power, maybe money, things to show off, right? That drives people, being successful, right? Learning and development is an upcoming trend for the Generation Y, right? As success factors. And finally, the term self-actualization, Chip Conley was transforming into transformation. Since there are people who, of course, want to survive and want to have success, but even more, they want to make a difference. A difference in their industry, a difference in their technology, a difference in social behavior. They want to do something else, right? And sometimes it has to do with legacy. yeah, and leaving your footprints. And sometimes it's a very simple thing of, sharing a certain, passion with others. Yeah. Core drivers of behavior, and if we look at Bill Gates or Mr. Zuckerberg, yeah, I think they went through these stages here, right? And they're quite busy with trying to leave their footprints on Earth, if they haven't done that yet, right? And they're spending lots of money. But don't get me wrong. Moving up this pyramid, this needs, has nothing to do with the level of success. You have to go here to Prague, to the Wenzel's Bridge, or to Berlin, and do you see artists? And artists who have the feeling that they are transforming something by their music, by their pictures, by their drawings, by their performance, right? And they're even compromising on things we would say they are going together with success or survival. Yeah? So whatever drivers you are looking in yourself or in persons you're working with, be aware, of course you can't take away the blanket. Yeah? Yeah? But you might play on all three layers in order to create rapport, connection, buy-in, a common language. Right? Now, let's assume, and I see approximately 180 very successful people here in the room, you are very successful. Yeah? You manage to fulfill this kind of needs more or less in your daily life. Yeah? What happens then? I borrowed this, and thanks, Oliver, for showing your real estate here with us. It leads to success, right? And in former times, in the 80s, it was my house, my car, my boat, right? Today, it's more my smartphone, my number of likes on Facebook. I don't know, right? It depends on generation, but this is, of course, very, very visible that there is a moment where you think, wow, I did it. I achieved it, I'm there. Yeah? And with this, we would say, congratulations, right? But we figured out that with this, actually something starts in us. And this, what there starts with us, is, we call it, patterns, routines, since our mind memorizes all activities paying in on this success in our maintaining and memorizing it on our hard disks, yeah? And we have neuronic links here, which becoming as big as motorways, since we said, wow, we did once this workshop, worked out pretty well, I do it twice, I do it a third time, I do it a fourth time. Fantastic, right? So we are getting used to that, thinking that this way is the way of success. Now what happens when we follow our success model, which obviously brought us somewhere? Yeah? We might look for this success model in every new opportunity which arises. Yeah? And this kind of patterns, confirmation patterns, one professor tried to solve with his students in this way. He put this order of numbers on the screen, like I do it here, and he said, discover the rule. And Dennis, I'm looking at you. What do you think? What is the next number in the chat? Maybe 8. I say 8 is correct. What would be the next number there? Give it a guess. 10, right? Any other number? 20. Correct? 14, correct? Is there anyone who would say, I know the rule? Who is guessing a rule? How many rules, exactly? Who's guessing the rule? What is the most obvious rule? +2, right? Yeah, many people, when they see this, the first thing is, oh, it's easy, it must be +2, right? The professor said, it's interesting that you follow this path, since 70% of people follow this path of saying if 2, 4, 6, 8 is right, 10 needs to be right, 12 will be right, 14, 16, 18 will be right? They're not deviating from this path once programmed in your brain to check out something new. And I like very much the person over there who asked for 20, yeah? Since there you made a change, right? Any other guess to prove the rule? To really prove the rule? Oh, you can double. Of course, there are different rules. Yeah? So some students then ask for a negative number. And if I then say incorrect, the rule becomes visible. The rule was simply the next number needs to be higher than the previous one. So 11.5 would work, etc. Yeah? This little experiment just to how easy it is to get into this I do it right. This worked in the past rule of building up patterns. Now, what happens if a success pattern is not working anymore? What happens then? We did it the last years, now it doesn't work. Frustration, right? And I don't know if I have the right number here. Here we have, it's fake, yeah, it's fake. Have you seen this picture here? Maybe on LinkedIn or Facebook. Here we have a herd of sheeps, yeah? And it seems to be that there are invisible fences here, yeah, of steel rope. But the interesting picture here is that the sheep are used to go from one field to the other through a gate. So the success model is look for the gate and not make the closest change, right? And that's somehow our thinking and our behavior. You know, we funnel it to something we believe is the success model. You find people around, yeah, who are looking for the gate. Meanwhile, there is no even a fence you have to cross. Yeah? And if they're not finding the gate, or the gate is closed, as Cesar said, you know, then people normally tend up to be frustrated, and they do escalation, investigation, task force, and they ask their lawyers what to do. Yeah? Who allows you to close a date? Yeah? It's not about moving. No, it's just to figure out who is guilty. Yeah? Of course, not you, but in other companies, right? And I show you also some pictures from the industry. What do have these three companies in common? They are not successful anymore, right? What else do they have in common? Blue collars. Yeah, there's an A in every name. I know. Yeah. They all were once market leader in their segment. Yeah, American Airlines in domestic flights, AOL in online business, and Nokia in cell phone. So what the hell happened? They did not find the gate. They were looking still for the gate. Meanwhile, there was a free field next to them, right? They didn't willing to change. They were applying a success model on and on and on and disregarding any change from the outside. Right? It was actually Nokia. They invented the first smartphone in 1995, 10 years before Apple made it a success. But they didn't believe that they could sell a smartphone for $700. Yeah. Good. So we see, obviously, that success is driving us into a certain behavioral pattern, yeah, which is very difficult then to get rid of, right? And these kind of patterns, and who of you likes football? I'm a soccer fan, yeah. There's this saying in football: never change a winning team, right? Yesterday I won from TuS Ingelheim. Tomorrow I play Real Madrid. Never change a winning team. I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't sign up for it. Not completely, right? Good. Changing is important. So I had the pleasure to work for Mitsubishi for sales training, yeah? And we did mystery shopping. Yeah? And we had a nice setup in a Mitsubishi showroom with a nice L200. These are the nice pickups, you know, four-wheel. And the mystery shopper came in and walked around the L200, I would say approximately 10 minutes. And the sales rep was watching at him and doing stuff, emailing, Facebooking, I don't know, was busy with everything else. Yeah? After 10 minutes, the mystery shopper went away. We asked the sales rep, what happened? Haven't you seen the customer? And he said, yes, I did. But you know, he only wanted to look around. Yeah, he didn't want to buy. I said, congratulations. Yeah, mind-reading capabilities. Yeah, obviously a success model not to approach him, and the patterns would help you, maybe not to grow your business, but at least to not be fired or get a negative comment for approaching someone who doesn't want to buy. Right? These are behaviors which actually somehow are created if we are successful. Yeah, that's what we do. Good. So the fundamental challenge in behavior change is to accept this, yeah? That the past and the success of the past is no guarantee for any future success, and therefore to challenge our presence for ourselves and for our counterparts. Right? Yeah, and this, of course, you know, yeah, if you want to change anything in your business with farmers, industry heads, with other vets, yeah, applying the same model again and again and again won't most likely not produce any other results. Yeah. Good. Knowing a bit the core drivers of our actions, knowing a bit about the patterns, the routines, which actually are limiting ourselves, let's move on to see how we can work on overcoming these challenges in behavior. Right? And for this, actually, I would like to invite you to a little self-assessment. You all have pens, I think, right? And I would like to ask you to make a self-assessment on your how satisfied are you? How satisfied are you with your personal work-life blend? Yeah. So the amount of working hours, hours with your family, friends, hobbies, etc. Yeah. Call it blend, since it's of course belonging together. And I would like you to do a self-assessment on a scale from 1 to 10. If you give it a 10, yeah, then it's really perfect. You are spending the right amount with your partner, with your family, with your job, or traveling, with your hobbies and your friends. If you give it a 1, actually either you already are facing physical or mentally constraints, close to burnout, or you are, maybe if you are not working so much, you're bored completely. Yeah? Bored out is also a phenomenon of today. Is a 1. If you say you are somehow in the middle, a 5 would be, you know, that I can stand it, and as long as the doctor is not prohibiting it, I keep on going. Yeah? Please write a number between 1 and 10, a piece of paper. Be honest with yourself. How satisfied are you with your personal work-life blend? And cheating is not helping in this sense, even if you like to do it. Yeah. Okay. And under scientists, I've also got to say, take whole numbers. You know, 7.658 is interesting, but for now, it's completely okay if we take full numbers, right? Okay. Everyone capable to do this? I see. At least nobody is. Okay. I would be curious, simply interested. Who of you gave yourself a 10? If so, I would like to meet the person to get some advice. No 10. Who is going direction 9? 9. Okay, 9, 2, that's very good. Maybe we have a chat during lunch. 8, there rises more. 7, here comes the big majority. 6, okay, 6, 7 is half of the big. I don't ask below 5, right? I don't do. But I would say we are somewhere around 7. It's quite okay. 7 should be a good average for this group, which is not too bad. 7 out of 10, right? Now, I would be interested, and maybe you want to make notes once again. Number 1 is what prevents you from giving a 10? What holds you back? What are the reasons? Yeah, is it too much work? My partner lives somewhere else, or I would need to ask my boss for more free time. I don't know. What is holding you back, right? And what kind of actions you personally could do in order to increase your personal level of satisfaction by 1. Think about it. What is holding you back and how you can increase it by 1. And please write it down too, that you memorize it by writing. Think about what holds me back to give a 10 and how to increase by 1. Can we switch it on? Okay, very, very randomly. I see people are writing quite a couple of. I give you some more time. Maybe it's a good exercise anyway, to think about it from time to time. Good. Let me check here. What is your activity you could do to raise it by 1?
Say no.
Say no. Excellent. Excellent. Saying no. Maybe I hear some more. What is your?
It's the same like this.
Also say no. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Here any suggestions? What could you do?
More relaxation.
More relaxation. More time. Okay. I have to ask here.
I know what to do, but I don't think I should tell it here.
Okay.
I have a plan. So next week I'll be on a 10.
Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, only sharing what you want to share. It's not an open discussion. Maybe one more. We have saying no, more relaxation. Maybe one more. Where there's not any nice example here around? One? Your neighbor? One example?
Being more aware of what I really have at home.
Being more aware of what I really have at home. Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. Good. Obviously, we are all capable in finding something which we can do to improve, right? So now, what is this kind of phenomenon? We are not happy totally, yeah? We are not satisfied 100%. We know the reasons. We know what to do. Why the hell are we not doing it? I don't know how you feel, right? I mean, I know there are plenty of discussions if there is a life after death. Yeah. But I think there are not too many discussions about that there's a life before death. Yeah? So what is it? What holds us back of doing something where actually we would benefit of? It has to do something with where we have influencing factors, and let me talk through these influencing factors a bit. Number one is, if we are happy with the results of actions, we won't change. We are happy with it, we score a 10, and to be honest, if I'm honest, I always complain about traveling too much, but I love traveling. If I'm honest with myself, it's fair enough. If the result is good, very low likelihood that you will change. And good, in our terms, is sometimes 50% plus. 50% plus. If not, the first thing we do, and Oliver introduced this morning the DMAIC cycle, define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Yeah? The first thing we do is we analyze about the actions we have taken. Can we do it differently? Can we change order? Can we improve? Do we have the right capabilities, the right competences, etc., in order to improve it? And to be honest, not knowing anything about the 5 steps in detail, you could discuss the 5 steps, I guess, in more detail and sharpen them and improve here and change it a little there. That's fair enough, right? To make it better. Nevertheless, there's a likelihood that it might not really turn out to be a success as long as we are not addressing the belief of people who either bring this process to the people or receive the process from you. Yeah? So if you are not believing, so to say, we can talk processes day in, day out. Yeah? And this experience believes that our core drivers of actions, right, they are coming very often from experiences we made in the past. Yeah? Once I tried it, it didn't work. Yeah. Oh, and now a new process. We had a process 10 years ago, and it wasn't working, you know. So we have to play on all these fields. Yeah? And to be honest, these are the ones you do with consultancies. And this one, yeah, we try to give it an entry also to provide meaning, mission, to provide a picture which is positive, yeah, in order to help people to buy in on something new. Okay. Good. Aspects influencing behavior. Now, a challenge might be to create experiences that have influence on beliefs which help the people to act differently in order to increase or better improve the results, right? And in order to practice creating experiences, I would like to invite you to a little exercise. Yeah? And this little exercise works as follows, that you would need to have a bit place around your chair. So, which means you would need to take your chair and make sure that you are having a bit place to the right and to the left, which means you may get up, take your chair, and give yourself a bit space of sitting down, right? That's good, yeah, fantastic. Give you a bit space, since the rows are packed. Please give you a bit space. Exactly, you move into the aisle, is perfect. And you can move also a bit outside, exactly. Give yourself a bit space, otherwise it's very tight. That's tight anyway. Give yourself a bit space between the chairs. That's good, fantastic. Fantastic. We want other people to change. Let's see how good we are in creating an experience which might drive our beliefs. So we have a bit space, and the subject of our little experiment is what happens if I become visible. Yeah, and what happens if become visible has different options. The first option is staying on your chair as you are, sitting, right? Sitting on a chair has certain advantages. Since I feel somehow protected by the people around me, I have my chair, nobody can steal him, yeah? Maybe I like the people around me, yeah, that's nice. Sitting here on the chair has also some disadvantages. I can't see everyone in the room, and not everyone can see me, and sitting in the row like you might have also some limitations in growth and developing. Making yourself visible is maybe a question of 40 centimeter or something, yeah? 40 centimeter to get up, yeah? And if you get up, then you see it has a certain positive impact. I can see now everyone here in the room, and you can see me, and here's space for movements and activities, yeah? Has also some downsides. I don't know if you like me, I don't know if someone tries to shoot me from the back, and someone could steal my chair. Yeah, without noticing. Right? So we have two options during this experiment, and then there's a third one. To be honest, doesn't need to be the most intelligent one, but may I have your badge? The third option is that you say, now creating experiences, I'm brave. I simply go up and go on the chair, yeah, and see how this works. Yeah. 3 options: remain seated, yeah. Option 1 is getting up, and option 3 is standing on your chair. Yeah? And as final instruction for the little experiment, it's about, the people who remain seated might want to give applause to the people who stand up. Yeah? And the people who stand up might give applause to the people standing on the chairs. Yeah? And to give the people on the chairs a little purpose, they may feel a bit Pope-like, swaying with a badge, yeah, to see how it feels. So if you are in need of recognition, it's your day. Good. Was I clear about the experiment? Then I will count down from 10, and I would like you to feel a bit inside, yeah, how it feels being invited to this experiment, what your thoughts are, and how it works out at the end. And we start anyway with an applause after 10 seconds, and then I see what happens. I see certain people leaving. That's a pity. That's a pity, but we can't do it differently. Okay, I count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And please do whatever you like. And I see certain people standing and trying. Fantastic. Fantastic. Excellent, excellent. Stay where you are a moment, stay where you are, and just a little chat maybe with someone who remains seated here. Any reason for, what was your decision taken for remaining seated? I'm fine with this. You're fine with this, fair enough. Someone who got up, you got up. Oh.
It's easier to stand up than sit down.
It's easier to stand up than to sit down. It's a pragmatic approach. And we have someone standing here. What was your idea?
I just felt like standing on the chair.
I just felt like standing on the chair. Excellent. Thank you very much. You may get seated again. Fantastic. And I would like to investigate a little bit further how it felt when you were invited to the experiment. Who of you thought, what a crap exercise? Be honest, yeah? How can he? Like, what does it take here, right? What is it, right? Who of you felt other things? Who of you was maybe feeling a bit tensioned? Curious, very good, very good. Any people who felt a bit tensioned, despite the 3 people who left the room? Okay, impressed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good. Why we do this exercise is since actually you want to simulate a different extraordinary behavior, a change, yeah? And why it sometimes is difficult for us is that we maintain in our minds this kind of what we call red lines, right? Red lines are personal, yeah? So the one red line is that you don't want to speak up in public. For another one, it's a red line to say nothing in public. Yeah? Other people like to sing in front of people. Other people are shy. My red line is to complain in public when, for example, food is not good. Yeah? Complaining in public is uncool, according to me. And if we come to these red lines, they are created by a little instance which we call the Buzzy. The Buzzy is this little voice, and some of you might have heard him now when we announced this exercise. And Buzzy was talking, really? Standing up? Are you crazy? The whole morning you were sitting and it was good? Yeah, why you should now stand up? Right? So he gives you certain ideas, and the Buzzy is coming from our 30,000 years ago from our caveman people. Flight, fight, freeze, survival strategies. And they are like escaping a situation, and therefore I'm always grateful if I announce it and 3 people are leaving. Yeah? I'm not part of it. Escape might be also that you address or put it differently, that you try to justify why you couldn't do it. I would have done it, Matthias, if you would have explained more concrete the outcome. I would have done it if my wife had told me that I need to be earlier at home. Yeah? So escape means also to not taking the guilt on your shoulders to do it differently. Right? But Buzzy is much more creative. He also gives us avoidance strategies and compensation strategies. Yeah? So compensation means that we do something different. I should have a talk with my customer about a thing I don't like to speak with him, but I first talk with my colleagues about the problem. Yeah? Can do this, right? You can do compensate. Yeah, there are bookkeepers, which lots of process in the job. They do fantastic gardening. Yeah? It's a compensation, right? It's being creative at one place where you can't be it as another. Yeah? To make escape clear, I don't know, it's maybe my personal problem, but sometimes I'm invited to parties where after 5 minutes I know this is not the place where I remain very long. And my Buzzy tells me, no, you can't say hello and after 5 minutes go to the host and say goodbye. Yeah? So what are we doing? You not, but I taking the plant, yeah? Walking out, sneaking out the party. Yeah? Oh yeah, stomach, yeah, car broken, and whatever. Yeah? Lots of escape routes. Yeah? And to visualize compensation, I mean, all the Americans, please. Yeah? My assumption is that the whole romantic novel industry, yeah? Rosamunde Pilcher, I don't know how many shades of gray, and the whole porn industry, yeah, wouldn't be so successful if partners would from time to time allow them to talk about their needs. Yeah? So what Buzzy is doing is he keeps us in our comfort zone, in our success safety container, and actually learning and development, growth, figuring out new stuff, we are too busy with maintaining what we have. Yeah. Madonna, Robin Williams, Google, they all are busy with, we need something new. We reinvent ourselves. Not everyone is it. Certain people remain here. What happens if we cross red lines? It can be a failure, of course. Yeah, it could be that the chair is broken down and whatever. It can be that you talk with your boss about your raise and he says, that was our last talk. Yeah? Can be. No, it can be also success. Huh? Like the first time we ate sushi. Yeah? 30 years ago it was raw fish. Really? You eat raw fish? Yeah? And it's a success, and you love it today. Right? Anyway, if it's success or failure, what you always get, and that's maybe the point, you gain something. If you change behavior, if you try something new, right, you gain something. And it's not an invite now to cross every red line here today in Prague, yeah? Since the Buzzy, of course, want to protect us to doing mistakes twice, but please give him the servant role and not the master role. Good. The Buzzy behavior change means to cross lines, right? Good. In order to not lose opportunities, yeah, maybe we for ourselves need to be open to experiences which we haven't done in the past in order to allow ourselves to believe in what we think should be a future path and then to drive our actions which hopefully deliver results which pay in on the positive experience. With this, making it somehow a bit more tangible and concrete for you in daily life when you come to changes in behavior. The one thing is, if you talk to yourself, I strongly recommend to hug your past. You did a damn good job. You were sitting here since you are successful, you're doing good business, good science, you have customers. Yeah, there's absolutely every moment you should be proud of what you are and what you achieved. Hug it. The next step is that you open up your mind for whatever you have achieved until now is no guarantee for success. Yeah? There might be things which we have to rethink and to challenge. Yeah? And if you do it, then become friend with your Buzzy. Yeah? Have a chat. Yeah? Consult even your Buzzy. Yeah? And say, why do you think that is not a good idea? And if you're aware of it, you can say, I do now by purpose a step where I'm not quite sure how it's ending. But with the full awareness, I am doing it because I'm eager, curious, as you said, to what happens here. Yeah? And if you have done this, you might want to visualize outcome of your activities. Yeah? And the more concrete you are, in 2 years I achieved A, B, C. And it feels like that. And I can calculate it down here. And the measure is ABC, it helps. And finally, to gather the resources, and I think you have a huge network already here, to gather the resources that can help you to make this happen. And finally, of course, to do it. And if you inspire others to change, then it's maybe important to be in contact. And I think in several presentations we heard this morning, it's not about us, what we want to tell you. We first need to understand their wishes, yeah? In our true interest, ask and listen. We need to understand their concerns in order to adapt our future picture together with them. Yeah? Be with your pig farmers, be with your customers, right? And finally, invite them to try out little experiments. I mean, you don't have to ask them to get on the chair. They will send you home or into, I don't know. But ask them to do little steps, little experimental steps. And finally, monitor and document in order to be capable to speak about the success. Yeah? 2 things at the final I would like to remind you, and maybe also as key takeaways. The one thing is, talking change is very easy if we talk about third people. Yeah? If we anyway want third people to change, we first have to think about, what their interests are. And the question should not be that I want to sell you coffee, but I would like to ask Caesar, when do you drink your coffee? That should be the driving questions, right? It's in the opposite and not in our interest. And I like very much the next picture, which comes from a Greek bar on Crete. I was there 7 days and nights. It remains the same. Yeah? Tomorrow never comes. So I hope with this little inspiration, you might leave later on this door for lunch or whatever and saying, today is a day to do it, yeah? And to start with this kind of little steps. Action is what's all about. Knowledge is a consolidation prize. And with this, I wish you good luck and success in your business.